Hello everyone, welcome back to another art time lapse. This is one of my last pieces, or one of the last few pieces I did for the year 2023, and this piece is called At Sunset. It is inspired by Studio Ghibli's Totoro, so it is a fan art piece. Starting off with my watercolor block, I did fully saturate my piece of paper and added some yellows, and while the paper is still wet, I'm adding in some Acryla Gouache red color. I think this one is like the Turner brand, but usually I use Holbein, so I'm trying out different types of Acryla Gouache and seeing how different they are. I must say this is one of my guilty pleasures as an artist, like buying a lot of art supplies and trying it out. I'm trying my best to use up as much of my art supplies as possible before buying more, but I must say I still have a lot in my storage that I have not fully finished for some of the colors and brands that I purchased in the past. But I'm very lucky in that way, in that my family is very supportive of me and helps me create opportunities to paint whenever I can. So this piece is a little bit outside my norm. It's not usually the color scheme that I go with because I love pastel colors, things that are a little bit dreamy. So these colors are a bit more bright, sharp, definitely more saturated and outside of my comfort zone. So we'll see how this goes. So before I go on, of course, by the time this video is out there, I have fully finished this piece and it took way longer than I expected. I thought it would be a quick sit down, get it done within like maybe a week. But at the end, I think I spent like 2 to 3 weeks on the piece. I think learning point from this is that I didn't have a lot of direction going into the piece. I thought I'll just play around with it and see how things go. And that is a lesson learned. And it's one of the things that artists don't talk about. We talk a lot about the painting process and also like the actual finalized art and how it looks like, but we don't talk a lot about like the conceptualization of the art and how much time that entails. Sometimes coming up with the idea and like figuring out where all the pieces go, or getting like sample pictures of how you would like the flowers to angle, what kind of flowers you have, that can take more time than painting itself. I think it's not as often as people think that you get a glimpse of like epiphany and you just paint and something brilliant comes out of it. It actually comes a lot with a lot of hard work for someone to come out with a final piece that like they are not afraid to showcase to their friends, family, or even like an audience out there, let's say, to market your artwork out in the public. So the final piece that you see on like websites or Etsy or like at an artist market, like it took a lot of time and effort. Not just the painting process, but like the conceptualization and how to like scan and print it and put it into a product. I think is very much undermined, and it's not natural for a lot of artists to do this, like to figure out like how to market artwork, or like a lot of times we just see like the beautiful artwork and we just assume that like this came out of thin air. But I just want to do a call out in this particular video about the idea of conceptualizing and organizing your thoughts before putting on paper. It is so important. It takes quite a bit of time, and the reason it's so important is it gives you a goal, a guide for something to look towards, or else you might go in perpetual circles in your artwork, or like you might like fix and redo certain places, whereas otherwise if you had spent the time to think clearly of how you want the piece to be visualized, you would have saved yourself a lot of time and heartache. With that said, it's all a learning process. Try not to feel too pressured that everything has to be perfect the first time that it comes out. At the end of the day, I still like this piece that I put together. I think it was quite well done, and I would probably do it again just to like know if this is a style I would prefer. As you can see, it's not as defined, like there's a lot of abstract plants and flowers in this piece, which is also why I added to how it took quite a bit of time to finish. In the end, I still think it was a lot of fun. So let's see how this painting progresses. So that's it for this fan art piece inspired by Studio Ghibli's Totoro at Sunset. So you can see the sun kind of glowing in from the back. I decided to do an effect where I do little dabbles of like dots rather than just a broad stroke for this piece. It feels like the sun is glowing from the back, and it turned out quite well. Having a closer look shows you the amount of detail and time put into this piece. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this art time lapse. I hope you found it inspirational, and hopefully I will see you in future videos. Take care and stay creative, everyone. Bye for now.